Book of Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their fathers by the house of the families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward by the polls. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and Son Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wahara Kakdash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, GMS, Guru Well, Teach Well. Salutations to the whole select brethren. Just pushing this word in sincerity and truth. Brother Preacher calls GMS Arkansas. I just want to share this quick lesson on a topic in the scriptures, which was a turning point in the scriptures in the book of Acts around the 13, 14, right around that chapter, maybe 13 or 14, when Apostle Paul was preaching unto the Gentiles. Today, when people hear the word Gentile, they think that it's speaking of everyone that's outside of being an Israelite. Okay, i.e., we're preaching, you have what you call so-called white people will come up and they'll say, well, I'm a Gentile. They'll say the Lord came for everybody. You know what I mean? It's like all of us Gentiles, we're grafted back in to this covenant, but that's not how it goes. When you read in the scriptures, the covenant has always been for Israel and no one else. And Israel consists of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay. And the big mystery is everywhere one of these men have laid their seed, they could be considered an Israelite. Now, it says from the house of their fathers. When we speak to a lot of people, you ask them their lineage, they always say, well, my grandmother was this. And it's always, my mother's mother, my grandmother, no matter if they even talking about their father's side, they'll put their grandmother in it. It has nothing to do with your grandmother. Stop it. Because a woman can take seed from many different men. A man has his seed and his lineage inside of his sack. He can push his lineage forth through any woman on the planet. If you have an Israelite man that's with an Israelite woman, the baby will be an Israelite baby. If you have an Israelite man with an Asian woman, that baby is an Israelite baby, according to what we just read in Numbers 1 and 18. Pedigree, let me show you this pedigree. Show you what pedigree is. Pedigree, 3205. Okay, Yalad. To bear, to bring forth, to beget. Gender, to bear, to bring forth of childbirth. Okay, to be born. Okay, it talks about birthdays. Declare one's birth. Strong's definition, begat. Okay, begat is having children, bring up a child, to be delivered, labor, declare pedigree, to be the son of. That's your pedigree, to be the son of. Okay, to be the son of. So that comes from the house of your father. The man's lineage is your ethnicity. So if you have a Edomite, who we know Edomites to be so-called white people, it's just so-called because they're not actually white, they're red. Going back to Genesis 25th chapter, Esau and Jacob, and the Edomites being the lineage of Esau. If you have one of those Edomites who the covenant wasn't given to, found no place of repentance, if you let one of those men sleep with an Israelite woman, it is an Edomite baby. It belongs to the Edomite clan because that seed has came from that man. Same way if an Edomite man sleeps with the Asian woman, it is an Edomite baby. It's not no half and half. Now, a baby might take characteristics from his mom, color, hairstyle, whatever. Okay? But it's still an Israelite because it came from the seed of that man. If a Asian woman sleeps with a Hamite, African Hamite, the baby is Hamitic. If the Asian woman sleeps with Puerto Rican, so-called Puerto Rican, it's going to be an Israelite because Puerto Ricans are Ephraim. They're part of the 12 tribes. If a Native American Indian man from Colorado sleeps with a so-called white woman, it's a Native American Indian baby. It will be a Gadite. It will be an Israelite because Gad is a tribe in the nation of Israel. And if he sleeps with an Asian woman or a Hawaiian woman, it's still a Native American baby. It might take characteristics, like I say, of those other women, other nations, but it's going to be an Israelite. And this is one of the big things when you're dealing with spirituality, people are trying to fit themselves back into the covenant. Now, you have seen people mingle with you have seen Israelite men mingle with other nations from the beginning. Vice versa. The other nations have always mingled with our women. So our women have brought forth other nations' children. Those children that they're having are not part of the covenant of Israel. Okay? They're not part of that covenant. Because there's no such thing as a mixed person. Okay? Because when you look at the spirituality of the thing in the Lord's eyes, okay, a person's lineage goes through what he said in the scriptures, your father. Okay? So that's why it's very, very important to have sons, right, to carry on your lineage. You know, just case in fact, just sharing something. I have two daughters. Now, I'm the oldest of my father, okay, but I don't have sons that I know of. Then I have a brother behind me has a son. See, that boy, if he grew up and have kids, he could carry on my brother's name, which would carry on my father's name as well. I have a sister that has 2 daughters, and that's it. But she is married, so she's bringing forth another man's lineage. He's an Israelite man. They have Israelite children, but she's bringing forth his lineage, his name. Okay. Then I have a younger brother that has a son and a daughter, which that son carries his name forth, which would carry my father's name forth. Okay. So when you have girls, basically, when they get married, your particular lineage of your father, it stops with them because they're going to bring forth a lineage from another guy. Now, the thing is, we're Israel. So if they marry Israelite men, they're still bringing forth Israel. So we're still family in the nation. See what I'm saying? They're still bringing forth another, long as it ain't outside. Now, if they go lay with the Ammonite, which is a Japanese, or Moabite, which is a Chinese, they're going to bring forth the lineage of Moab through their children. And they won't be Israelites. Okay? But if my brother's sons, my two brothers' sons, if they go out into the world and have kids anywhere with any nation of women, if they have sons, it still carried forth the name Israel. Plus, it will still carry forth the name of my father's name. Okay, if you can get it. So that's one of the big mysteries that we have in the scriptures. When people come up, they're not understanding who this word is for, and they're actually trying to saying that they can be fit in because they're Gentiles. Okay, these are not talking about you, because you got to remember, the children of Israel were scattered among the heathen nations in every nation. Okay, you were scattered. So when you read in Acts, the word had to go back out, and the gospel was preached to reach Paul. And was reaching those Israelites who were living in those different regions, other than the ones who were born in Jerusalem and grew up in Jerusalem, right around the synagogues. It was, you got to remember, it says we were scattered. Okay, it was a scattering with the Israelites. That was part of the curses. When you read right here, Deuteronomy 28, what does it say in 64? And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thy nor thy fathers have known, either wood or stone. So it says that you was going to be scattered. Okay, and in Israel, there are so many Israelites around the world, you would not believe it. When you go to Hosea, the 1st chapter, you go to the 10th verse, it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. The sand of the sea. If you stick your hand inside the sand and grab a handful, do you actually think you can count all those grains of sand that you could pick up in both your hands? If you laid all that sand on the table, how long do you think it would take you to take a fine, thin enough instrument to separate each grain of sand and count it? So it says that the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. So we can't be numbered. So we basically all over the world. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto you, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto you, you are the sons of the living power. Which you got to remember where we at now. We're in America. Okay. And you got to remember the plight we went through. We came on cargo slave ships where it seemed like the Lord had no love for us. But here in America, we are, the Lord is waking up certain men, and we are coming back to our heritage right here in America, because it had said here in Jeremiah 17:4, and thou even thyself shalt be discontinued from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou have not known. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. And we was brought over here in these cargo slave ships, okay, to this place. We have came back around to know the Lord here in our captivity, okay. So, yeah, when we see these people, they call themselves saying we can be grafted back into the covenant, we'll be out there preaching. No, it's not. That's not true. Okay. And then you will see some, because that's why when they come up, we have to abide by the scriptures. 1 John 4:1, it says, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of the Most High Yahweh, because many false prophets has gone out into the world. So we must try every spirit, because the thing is, you have what's called in the Old Testament, Daniel's, I think it's 9 and 7. O Lord, belongeth unto us. O O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces. So therefore, there's a confusion of face out here. So, and because men have slept with women since the beginning of time and a different variety of women, the Israelite man has mingled with the other nations, and the other nations has mingled with the Israelite woman, right? And bringing forth what you call good seed and wheat, what they call tares among the wheat. Okay, so you have other nations that are growing up among us. They might look like a so-called white man, but their father is what a Israelite. Okay, or you will have a Israelite woman bring forth a child from a white man or Edomite man or a Chinese man, and they grow up among us looking like us. You know, long as it's they look like us. So therefore, that it is a confusion of face in there. That's why we use the scriptures to try that spirit of that man. Okay, that spirit is it an Israelite? Because Israelite, you can bear witness to certain things. As other nations, you can't bear witness to the spirituality of the word because it's not for you. When you read Leviticus 26 and 46, it tells you that this covenant is for the nation of Israel. So you're not going to be able. So that's why we have to try the spirit by the spirit. Give you a prime example. Let me show you something right here. Blake Griffin, the ball player. Okay, that's him and his parents. Look at that. See his dad, his mom. You see that redhead? Like redhead white lady. He got red hair, but he don't have no kinky hair like black people. I've seen his hair grow out. It's like straight. It'll be curly sometimes, but you can see this is an Israelite man because his father is an Israelite man, slept with a white woman, but they had a boy. So as long as Blake Griffin has a son, it carries on his name and his father's name, and the nation of Israel carry on our heritage and our lineage. Okay, let me show you something else. Let me prove on more. Blake Griffin parents' nationality. Let's see. See, Blake Griffin's father, Tommy Griffin, is a Afro-Haitian descent, and his mother, Gail Griffin, is white. Both parents are American because his father, he said he's American because we were brought here on ships. We were brought here as slaves. But his father's lineage comes from the Haitians. But his parents probably moved over here and had him. But it don't mean he's American because he has a lineage. American, that comes from Amerigo Vespucci. Okay? You would have to come out of the lineage of Amerigo Vespucci to be an American. Okay? Who was an Edomite. Okay? And the scriptures say how they took the lands and named them after their own names in Psalms 49 and 11. So Tommy Griffin, Blake Griffin's father, is Haitian. We know Haitians come from the tribe of Levi, who is the second or third son in the line out of Jacob, the Israelites. So Haitians are Israelites. So when Tommy Griffin got with this Edomite woman, Gail, they had a son, which that son takes the lineage of his father. Okay, so therefore he would be an Israelite. Now, when you look at it, it says Aaron Gordon. He's another one. Look light skinned, father black, mother white. Ancestry claims Osage Indian heritage from his parental side. Okay. Ed Gordon and mother Shelley Davis. Okay, so he's a Gadite. Osage will be, I'm here in Arkansas. Arkansas is kind of like the area that the Osage, they had the territory here in Arkansas. So Ed Gordon, his dad lineage could be coming back to Arkansas, Oklahoma area. You know what I'm saying? It was Oklahoma and everything. Now, something else I wanted to show you. If I can't find it, we're going to show you Blake Griffin's son. Okay? Blake Griffin's son. Let me type it in. Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's son. There it is. Now, this is Blake Griffin's son. Now, that little boy, if you look at the screen, it looks just like a little Edomite. Look at that. That little boy look like an Edomite. Straight hair, blonde, but you can look at his eyes. He ain't blonde hair and blue-eyed. He blonde hair and brown-eyed. Look like a little Edomite, okay? Blake Griffin is an Israelite through, you've seen his father being a Haitian. So Blake Griffin, his nationality will be Levi. So the nationality of your father goes to the son. So this little boy right here look like a little white kid, but he's a Levi. He's from the nation of Levi. I mean, the tribe of Levi from the nation of Israel. This is the lady that Blake had the baby with. Okay, Brian Cameron, that's her name. Straight up Edomite woman. See, Blake looks like confusion of face a little bit, right? And then he with an Edomite woman. So when the baby come out, it took the characteristics from Blake's mom being an Edomite woman, and he slept with an Edomite woman. So therefore, you're going to have the baby going to look like an Edomite. You see how the baby look like an Edomite? But that dude is a Levite. He out of the nation of Israel. If he grows up, you might see him in a camp. If he grew up, if he had time enough to grow up in this world, and he hear the scriptures, he would be in a camp. And you would be sitting there like, y'all got a white dude in the camp. No, he an Israelite. It's that confusion of face. Okay? This is Blake Griffin, and there's many more. You see what I'm saying? There's many more like that. You know? So yeah, Israel is the sand of the sea. We everywhere. We've been scattered, and men have dealt with other nations. But it comes from your father. So yeah, you can have someone that looks like a so-called white man have a baby by a Israelite woman. So you got an Edomite baby. It's a white baby. They have boys that's going to carry on that lineage of Esau. And then them boys turn around and have a baby with a so-called Israelite, or be an Israelite woman again. The so-called black, I'm saying so-called. That baby going to be darker. It probably going to have curlier hair. And if it's a boy, then if he turn around and go back to his if he go back to his mom's people, which is an Israelite, and have another baby, you're going to have a black baby all over again, but it'll be a white man. If I'm explaining it like that, because lineage is carried through the man. It will be a white baby, but it'll be dark like Wesley Snipes and be hanging around the camp. You be like, man, I don't see this. Jake don't get it. You be trying to get him to get the scriptures and he just won't get it. He be acting weirdo because he's an Edomite. He ain't no Israelite. But Blake Griffin's son could grow up and he come to the camp and be looking at stuff. You think he an Edomite and he ain't bucking up. He'll come there. He'll be listening. He'll be looking attentive because he is part of the nation. Okay, and that's how when you look at Gentiles, we were living in those other nations, and then that's why that gospel came back in Acts 13:14. It came back to those Gentiles, those Israelite foreigners that was living in that land. Hey, you have a part in this covenant. Okay? You have a part in this covenant. And there's many more scriptures I could get, but I just wanted to share this with you, because it's one of the little mysteries. When people come up, they try to say, we grafted in, we Gentiles, the Lord said we could be in it. No, it's talking about the Israelites who was living in those other heathen nations, growing up under another culture, that this word is for them. That's why Paul, when he went out, that was a turning point in the scriptures. He said, we're going to go to the Gentiles. Now we're going to the Gentiles. It's talking about the Israelites living in those other lands. It wasn't talking about you non-Israelite, you heathens. It wasn't never talking about you. You could go in John the 4th chapter when Yahweh was talking to the woman at the well. Another example. So with that, man, I just hope this was edifying to the election of Israel. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and Son, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Wahar, Kakadash, Shalom.